Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about the best player in the country. We're going to be talking about Celtic's talisman, and that is Odsonne Edouard. The big man is just sensational. What more can I say on YouTube about Odsonne Edouard than I already have? He's honestly one of the best players that in our lifetimes, if you're the same generation as me, have ever got to witness playing a Celtic shirt. And people are making the comparison, people are making the bold statement that he is the best since Henrik Larsson to play for Celtic. Well, today we're going to briefly talk about on camera a little bit about Odsonne Edouard and his time at Celtic and what we should do moving forward. And then later on in the video I'm going to switch over to a preview from the Talk Scottish Football podcast, where me and David have a bit more conversation about it all, get a bit more in depth and talk about his performance last night against Motherwell. Now, before we quickly move on to the topic of Odsonne Edouard, thank you all for the support recently on the channel as always. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you're new as well, it's much appreciated. And also, yes, I know a lot of people have been saying the podcast would be much better if we have camera, if we have video footage rather than just, a backdrop with audio. We're trying to work on that. Sadly, cameras are quite expensive, so we're trying to get things sorted. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, we can get it onto video and it'll be much more easy and enjoyable to watch. But if you have been listening, thank you very much, and make sure to check it out in the top line of the description below. But Odsonne Edouard is the conversation. He is the man of the moment. He's the guy who, since the comeback of Scottish football after the winter break, has set the world alight with his performances. He's scoring goals for fun, he's scoring free kicks as well. Honestly, just a delightful player to watch. And the conversation has been having, how much longer do we have this man? How much longer do we have to enjoy his time at Celtic? Will he leave in the summer? Will Celtic be able to keep him on? Now, it would be a dream come true to watch Odsonne Edouard stay at Celtic. Touching on the performance last night, I think that him himself is just, he's a game changer. Without him, how different would Celtic be? Because it would be incredibly different. You can't right now picture a Celtic side without Edouard up front. You can't imagine his impact to the team. I couldn't think of Celtic without his ability to open up a game, carve an opportunity out of nothing and get us an important goal. Now, how different would things be this season if he wasn't there? Now, I know that's very easy to say, we could have someone else in his place who's just as good. Griffiths would maybe be scoring more goals, but, without him, things might be so different. We maybe not be top of the league by 7 points just now if it wasn't for the fact that Edouard's form this season has been absolutely sensational. He's scored 23 times in 37 games this year, including 19 goals and 22 in the Scottish Premiership. He's the top scorer in the league, and it's not just about his scoring ability, it's his creating ability as well. The fact he can create something out of nothing. He is just unbelievable, and he's a man who will walk right into the next team he goes to, whether it be over in France, whether it be in England, whether it be in Germany. No matter where he was to go next, he will walk into that team, and he has the ability to be one of the top strikers in Europe if he's not already. Now, it might be an unpopular opinion to those who are watching, not of Scottish viewership, those who aren't fans of Scottish football and believe everything about it being the worst branch of football in the world, but for me, he is already one of the top strikers in Europe, and he's proved that at the highest level. He's proved that playing against teams like Lazio, against Rennes, against Cluj, against Valencia. He's played against all these teams in Europe, and he's still shown the mass amount of quality that he has. So I think that to say that he's already one of the best young strikers in Europe is not a far cry from the truth. And the fact is, he's only going to get better. Now, as for him staying at Celtic, I hope to God that somehow he is here for next season, because if he is here next year, there is no doubt in my mind that 10 in a row is done. It's complete. We have him. If I was Peter Lawwell at the minute, I would throw every single penny that I could afford to at that man, even just to keep him here for a year longer. After 10 in a row, on you go. Walk out and enjoy your career. Just go and set the world alight and show how good you can be at the highest of levels. But for him to be here next season would make 10 in a row so sweet. It would make it so easy on the eye. And I do have faith we can do it with or without him. But by having him there, it gives you that confidence that it's going to be done. It's a done deal. Don't want to speak too soon, but that is the kind of impact that man brings to the squad. We are at the point now where he perhaps surpasses how much I loved Moussa Dembele. And that was something I never thought I'd say. But here I am saying that it could potentially be a thing. So Odsonne Edouard, we should be, if we have to pay upwards of £50,000 a week to keep him for a year, do it. Do it, Celtic. Don't be shrewd and give him it. I don't know what his attitude towards it is, but we'll soon find out. Anyway, a lot of the things that I'm touching on are going to be discussed in the next 5 or 6 minute clip of the Talk Scottish Football podcast. Let me know your opinions on Odsonne Edouard below. 19 Premiership goals in 22 Premiership games. That is a statistic to remember. What's his value? If we do let him go in the summer, how much do we accept at the least? Let me know. Anyway, it's over to the podcast.
Having watched the Celtic game last night, I had the Celtic game on the TV, the Rangers game on the laptop, watching the two of them, or trying to at least. The first 25 minutes, half hour, I thought, oh my God, Motherwell are going to do it tonight.
I know, despite us scoring very early on.
I know, they kept having chances. They looked so dangerous. The boy Aaron's looked a threat. It was like.
And that was his debut last night, and all I can say is Motherwell have done a great bit of business there. Despite falling away in the second half, not doing too much, he still, he looked really positive, created a lot for them.
Yeah, and I mean, they definitely had chances. I mean, for the first half hour, they probably had the better chances.
The first
really.
half, I'd say they looked the better team.
Yeah,
Celtic looked lazy.
And the thing is, it's such a compliment to Motherwell that you thought, even Celtic going in ahead, you still felt Motherwell had a chance, which is a testament to how well Stephen Robinson's doing.
Because at half time, the main conversation I had was that in the second half, I feel like it could be Motherwell's game.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it was. We just looked a bit flat. I mean, despite, as I already mentioned, despite scoring early, we just looked flat all round. We didn't look as though we were into the game. Forrest was quiet. Even the players who turned up in the second half looked quiet.
I thought Griffiths did well in the first half. I was really impressed with his first half performance because, Edouard's going to get all the headlines from last night, and rightly so. But Griffiths' first half, the amount of times he won the ball high, he came in, he won fouls, he flicked it on, his link-up was brilliant. And normally when you think of Lee Griffiths, you think of like a striker, a proper finisher. He played like a number 10 last night.
Like his game has changed completely, and we wrote him off. A lot of people wrote him off, including Celtic fans. Only a matter of weeks ago, and now he's coming out of the team, and his performance last night,
I mean, he's keeping Ryan Christie and Tom Rogic out of the team just now.
I know, that's correct, because this time before the winter break, Ryan Christie was probably, you could say, the best player on the team.
Yeah, probably.
And now he
can't get in because of how well Griffiths
is playing.
Exactly,
that's it. But Edouard, what a performance from him. I mean, what does Celtic have to do to keep that guy?
They're not going to keep him in the summer.
No, I know, it's sad,
just,
isn't
and
it?
I think Lennon kind of has hinted at that. He said midweek, enjoy it while it's here, kind of thing, because. Wow. He's got everything.
He's another level, and you could arguably say he's the best player Celtic have had since Henrik Larsson.
I've seen lots of that on Twitter last night. Sutton came out and said that live on TV last night.
Exactly, that is the comment. Do you think he's the best player Celtic have had since Larsson? I mean, Celtic have seen some fantastic players. Just to list a few, you got Moussa Dembele in there. You've had the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura in there.
I think people said at the time Dembele was the best since Larsson. I think Edouard's.
I know, I agreed with that statement.
I think Edouard's better now than Dembele was when he was at Celtic.
It's mental.
Slightly different types of players, and I think Dembele was just more of a ruthless goal scorer.
I think the thing that really differentiates him now is the fact that Edouard, in his 3 years at Celtic, compared to Moussa Dembele's time at Celtic, there's a big difference in the fitness, because Dembele missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
And Edouard has, capitalised on being fit for the majority of his time.
He keeps adding like different strings to his bow. He keeps starting to do different things. I mean, the free kick.
It's like every week he adds something new.
Yeah,
there's a new dimension. His game is unlocked. It's like you're unlocked.
You watch him when he dribbles with the ball, and it's actually stuck to his feet. Like when he's running at people, he'll take it past 3 or 4, and you just can't get near him.
But if Peter Law has any sort of brain, he will try at least to maybe throw a massive wage at him to keep him for one more year.
I'd have thought so, but I think Celtic are going to get 50 million for him in the summer.
Do you think 50 is high?
I do,
50?
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's players in the world going for sums of money like that who don't score who don't score goals.
Look, at the prime example for me is, right, if Sheffield United are signing Oliver McBurney for £20 million, what does that make
Odsonne Edouard is 5 times a player McBurney.
I certainly agree with you. I think Celtic should be looking for a fee in the region of 40,
minimum
£50
million for me.
But
minimum.
Will they get it?
I think so.
I hope so.
If you're Manchester United, Odsonne Edouard walks into that team.
If I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would kill for a player like Edouard.
Absolutely, he would walk into that team. I mean, it's not just that. I mean, there's teams all over the world that are just looking for a striker, and I think they'll think they can get him on the cheap, and Celtic are going to have to stand their ground, I think. Because if they lose him for £30 million, I mean, that's nowhere near enough.
We say all the time. I mean, I think we done a good bit of business with Tierney, considering he's got hips like biscuits.
Yeah.
We got 25 million for him.
I said that at the time. I said this is going to be a great deal for Celtic, and everyone laughed at me.
25 million for Tierney. We got 20 million for Dembele. For me, 2 fees that we could have definitely, maybe not so much with Tierney, we could have definitely got more out of. We can't do that this time.
How much was Dembele again, sorry?
£20 million.
Yeah, I see.
To Lyon. I mean, for me, he was a £30 million player.
Yeah. I think he was then. I think Edouard's better now, and plus the market is even more ridiculous.
The market skyrockets every year.
40 million quid for me at minimum.
That would be ideal, and at Celtic, I think if they can keep Edouard at the team, 10 in a row is even more realistic than what it would be without him.
Just depends if he wants it, though.
I know.
If he wants
his
it.
attitude. Because that's the thing. As much as it's easy for Celtic fans to turn around and say, right, throw the boy 50 grand a week, keep him at the club for another year. He might say to himself, I don't want to be here another year, you know,
Yeah.
I want to go to France, I want to go to England, I don't know, wherever he wants to play.
He's a very quiet character. He doesn't say an awful lot. I mean, he's all the charisma of a toothbrush, man. Have you seen his post-match interviews?
Brilliant.
Very good, very good. Yeah,
I don't book.
yeah, exactly. Just
But,
mental.
I mean, second half performance of Celtic, outstanding. Motherwell was surely disappointed with the collapse.
Yeah,
in the
I
second
think for Stephen Robinson, though, I don't think he'll dwell on it too much.
No, they can't. That's the thing. No one in the league can dwell on.
I mean, that's the best
losses
I've seen
to
Celtic play
Rangers.
for ages.
I know. I
Second
feel like
half.
we looked at the first half performance against St Johnstone last week.
And they were great.
Outstanding. Tailed off in the second half. This week, first half wasn't great. Second half, outstanding.
Yeah, that might be a slight worry for Lennon because the last 3 games have been the same. They've had one good half and one bad half. They've if when it comes to like an Old Firm game, they're going to need to combine all the good that they're doing. Because I mean, they started pretty horribly at Hamilton. And they ended pretty horribly at St Johnstone. And last night, they weren't bad first half last night, but it did take them a while to get going.
I mean, apart from obviously scoring after that, it was just.
There's one. I mean, everyone's been talking about Griffiths and Edouard for Celtic recently. But for me, the player that I think deserves all the chat for me is Olivier Ntcham.
And Cham has came
Wow.
on.
I mean,
his attitude has changed.
He's always had
what he's
that
once.
ability, and I don't think anyone's ever questioned that. But he's never been able to have a run
I
of
feel
5,
like
6, 7 games
it's
at that
always
level.
been the attitude that's held him back. The attitude is what's like. I think there's been times where he doesn't look as though he wants to play for Celtic. I don't think he can be bothered. But when he can be bothered, he's easily one of the best players in the country.
I mean, since he came back after winter break, he's been outstanding. And we say Griffiths is keeping Christie at the team just as much as Ntcham is as well. Yeah.
That's what, last night. I think every player in the park deserved a credit for Celtic. James Forrest being the only one who I thought didn't really perform in the game. Still missing.
Yes.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before you maybe think about.
You just want about like 3 weeks before the playoff, he'll start hitting form.
I know that's what happens. You know, the Rangers game, he'll start playing well up to that, and then he'll disappear against Rangers. Probably that's what will happen.
Probably.